Hello, it's Jennie Sutton of Enabling Success Limited and welcome to another webinar. In today's webinar I'm going to talk to you about increasing your confidence. Now you might be thinking, well, how much am I to increase it by? Well, do you know what? A small increase will make a massive result. If I demonstrate that with just using my hands, if the apex of my fingertips is that 10% degree and my thumbs is the result of the circumference of that angle, you can see that the results are huge. And that's all I'm going to suggest for you today, is increase your confidence by 10%. So how to do that? Well, I'm going to take you through an ABC approach, all of which will require this. Your brain. Yes, you know I've talked about your brain quite a few times now. But today I'm going to suggest you do a little bit of neurosurgery on your brain. In fact, you are the surgeon and your brain is the patient. So as you probably are aware, my background is in healthcare and I like to use health metaphors, and I'm going to use one straight away. If we're looking at A for attitude, I want you to recall the time when you queued up as a young teenager, or even earlier if you can remember that far back, waiting for your school vaccines. Do you remember you used to stand in the queue and all your friends would come back after receiving their vaccines, walk past you and go, oh, it's fine really, or crying or smiling, and you're thinking, oh, what am I going to be like? Am I full of intrepidation or am I dead cool? Well, I want you to imagine that those school vaccines that you had all those years ago were vaccines of confidence. How would your life result as a result of that? If you had, up until this moment in time, injection after injection of confidence, where would you be? Where would your life be? And equally, what would the results be in your life? Because confidence is just as fragile as those antibodies that you were given as a young person. Just as fragile. And the reason being is that perhaps in the past we've had people of influence. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that people of influence tend to wear very jazzy glasses. I'm a person of influence now. I'm either your head teacher, or a teacher, or a scout or cub leader, or brownies or guides leader. Whatever I am a person of influence. And maybe my intention was good, but I said something a little bit more damaging. For example, you're useless at that. You're hopeless. You can't do that. And consequently, as being a person of influence, you may have, and I certainly have in the past, put on those words that the message has been given by the person of influence, of course, with their best intentions. But put those words on and model those words and those behaviours like a cloak. And not a very enabling cloak, I have to say. So, my invitation to you is to think about the attitude. Think about how perhaps in the past those messages have been given to you and you've chosen, notice the word chosen, to make those words part of your being, part of your behaviour, part of who you are. And it is a choice. You see, you don't have to be ill to get better. So my invitation to you is to think about your attitude. Have you, up until this moment, chosen to wear those particular labels that those people of influence have given you over the years? So what about the B? The B is for baggage. Now, you may want to just pause this webinar just now to get yourself a pen and some paper, preferably 2 sheets of paper. I'll leave it up to you, or you can use the same piece and use it in reverse. What I want you to do with those 2 pieces of paper is to draw a bag. You can choose, it could be a supermarket bag, a plastic bag, it could be a Louis Vuitton bag, you choose. But either way, a bag. And on one side of the sheet of paper, on your extra sheet, I want you to draw one bag and call it your disabling bag. And on the other sheet of paper, or on the reverse side, write enabling bag. And with that, I want you to think about all those words that perhaps you have chosen, again that word, chosen to adopt those behaviours up until this moment now. Write all those words that are perhaps far from enabling, more disabling, on that sheet of paper, in your disabling bag. Write them down. You may want to pause this webinar now as a result. So as you're writing them down, those are the words that come at the top of your head. Basically, at your conscious level of your brain. Now remember, your brain is made up of your unconscious and your conscious. Your unconscious is like a filing cabinet, and it's 90% of your brain, whereas your conscience is only that 10%. So at the moment, as you're writing down those words, it's just your 10% that's in operation. So to utilise the whole of your brain, what I would suggest you to do is to keep your disabling baggage, your sheet of paper with all those words on, and keep adding and adding and adding those words for at least a week. Somewhere that you can find it easily to hand, maybe on the fridge, maybe on your computer screen, maybe on your desk, maybe on a pinboard, you choose. But either way, keep writing all those disabling words that maybe you've been carrying up until this moment on that sheet of paper. And only keep it for a week, because that way both your conscious and your unconscious brain have been working on that particular baggage. So let's turn our attention to the more enabling baggage. Now this is the exciting one. This is the one I want you to focus on. This is the baggage where you write down everything that you can consciously and unconsciously think about of enabling you up until this moment. All those experiences, all those plus points that you've had, all those moments in your life where you felt, yeah, I'm really confident at this, or that was really successful, or I achieved the outcome that I really wanted. Keep adding it and adding it and adding it. And for this bit of baggage, you're not to throw it away. You're to keep it forever and a day. You can jazz it up, you can perhaps use coloured pens, whatever. You choose what you want to go on your enabling baggage. And the reason being is because that's about celebrating who you are. It's about forgetting the disabling baggage, throwing it away because you're only going to keep that for a week, and keeping your more enabling baggage. Now for your enabling baggage, you need to have that really prominent. Maybe duplicate it, maybe have it as a screensaver on your computer and keep adding those words in, whatever it is, but you need to see that enabling baggage day in, day out, and keep adding and adding and adding until it's absolutely bursting. But there's a little trick, and I'll share with you that little trick. Do you remember Mary Poppins? Well, Mary Poppins had a lovely carpet bag, didn't she? She had a huge carpet bag, and for some reason I think she came out with a coat hanger, didn't she? A coat stand, and it was like huge, and you'd think, how did she do that? Well, you've got a Mary Poppins secret segment in your bag, your enabling bag. So it could be that you want to just draw a little area on your sheet of paper, on your enabling baggage sheet of paper, where you want to put all the words that you want to be, all those confident words that you just really aspire, if I could, and put them in there. Because when you recognise how you want to be much more confident, and the role models that you've come across in life, or who you aspire to be, or how you wish you were, put those in your secret segment in your enabling bag. And I guarantee that as you go through life, from this moment on, that secret segment will become more you. No longer will it be a secret segment. It's going to become part of you, just like my jacket is, just like the cloak that you've previously worn, but actually you're going to be much more enabled now and much more confident. So that's the baggage, that's the trick of getting rid of the disabling baggage and really embracing the more enabling baggage. Now moving on to C. The C is for connection. Now, I'm going to honour somebody who I have a lot of admiration for, and actually I'm accredited to his academy, and that's Paul McGee, the sumo guy. And I highly recommend that you have a look at his website. Paul has come up with an acronym called TEAR, T-E-A-R. And TEAR means thoughts, emotions, actions and results. You see, for everything that you achieve and for everything that exists in this world, it started with a thought. The chair that you're sat on, the computer screen that you're looking at, the pen in your hand, the piece of paper that you've just written on, the clothes that you're wearing, it all started with a thought. And so does confidence. You see, if you think confidence, you act confidently. And that is the trick. Because if thoughts lead on to emotions, how you feel, then the results and the actions that you take to achieve those results will just skyrocket, won't they? To be honest with you. So if everything starts with a thought, let's start thinking that way. I'm just going to take a little bit of water just for a moment. You see, the reason why I say that is because if you imagine your brain is like your own Google search engine. If you put in words like, I can't, I won't, guess what happens? The search will come up with all the reasons and excuses why you can't and you won't. And maybe in the past you've put in, I'm hopeless, I'm rubbish, I'm a waste of space. Yeah? What I want you to do from now on is basically knock the block off any T in the word can't. I want you to stop saying can't and change it to I can. Because by saying you can, your Google search engine will equally say, yeah, actually, Jen, you can. And give you all the reasons why you can. So your brain is your Google search engine. So you can see how you are the neurosurgeon to your brain, the patient. So with having said that, it's really important that you think about the junk or the message that you put into your brain. You see, if you do put junk in, guess what you get? You get junk out. So how much more enabling is it to actually put in the right words, with the right outcome, with really what you want to achieve into your search engine here, and consequently your actions and your results will mirror exactly what you want to achieve. It was Stephen Covey who said, when you start something, always have the end in mind. And that's entirely true when it comes to confidence. If you want to be confident in a meeting, in a business proposition, in something challenging, maybe a little potential conflict, maybe negotiating a contract, whatever it is, put the message in of success and the results that you want, and guess what? Your behaviour, your emotional response, and your actions, and consequently your results will achieve exactly what it is that you want. So, I've got something else that I want to share with you. I don't know if you've come across TED Talks, TED on the computer, TED. And there's a particular TED Talk that I think is really quite interesting, and it's by Amy Cuddy, C-U-D-D-Y. And she talks about the animal kingdom and how our animal kingdom is very confident. And what she's suggesting is that we apply some of those key principles from the animal kingdom to ourselves. An example that she has utilised is that of Mr. Gorilla. Here we are, this is Mr. Gorilla here with his boxing gloves on because he's going to knock the socks off any T in the word can't. But actually, if you look at the animal kingdom, particularly gorillas, when they feel that sort of sense of achievement, or they have had some dominant behaviour, you will find that they'll beat their chest, or they'll have their hands up high, like, you know, I'm a success, I'm a hero. Or if they want to be a little bit more aggressive, they might lean forward with their knuckles down and stare at the opposition. Well, what Amy Cuddy is saying is that if you apply the same stance as a gorilla, obviously I'm suggesting somewhere private, not necessarily in a board meeting, but if you apply those principles of standing with your hands held high, somewhere private, it helps you to prepare, get in the mindset, and also your body language starts to replicate your mindset. It helps you to be far more confident. I'll give you another analogy. Sportsmen. Now, I'm not a great sports person. My family would vouch for that. But the people that I do know, like the Wayne Rooneys of the world, the Andy Murrays of the world, when they win a match, what do? They hold their hands up high, don't they? Yes. Or they've got that winning goal. Yes. It's the same body language that a gorilla uses. It's that same success of, yes, I've done it, I've got the confidence, I believe in myself. Yes? So, when you're faced with maybe a little bit of a challenge, I suggest to you, go and stand somewhere private, maybe in the toilet, for 2 minutes, with your hands held high, have the end in mind, yes, have the end in mind of how you want the meeting to go, and go out and have that meeting. You will be a lot more grounded and a lot more confident. So there we are, that's the ABC to confidence building. Do you see? It's just that 10%, but it can make a massive difference. So thank you very much for joining me. It's Jennie Sutton of Enabling Success Limited. To success. Bye-bye.